Alrighty, so do I, Robert Morris University journalist Samuel Goldberg, have your permission to conduct this interview?
Yes, you do, Sam.
Perfect. So, Jamey, I'd like to thank you again for joining me again after we had some technical difficulties with our last interview. My computer shut down, but hey, you know what? It's good to chat with you again. And so, I guess we'll dive right into this. So, kind of what made you really want to start Flyers Nitty Gritty, and what kind of gave you the idea to start a website for Flyers content?
Well, I've been in this business about 7 years now. I used to write with Philly Sports Network and doing various things for them, and I wrote a ton of articles. And you know what, you just start to gain experience. You start to get close to the Flyers, which we did. We got fully credentialed with the Flyers, the Phantoms, the Royals, and I felt as though that it was time that we could start my own website. So one of our old writers, Reef Warlock, and I got together, we got our heads together, and started to form Flyers Nitty Gritty, to which we're still very close with the Flyers. We're fully credentialed with the Flyers, the Phantoms, the Royals, all these OHL teams, CHL teams, and I mean, it's just teams throughout the entire world in Sweden and stuff. Yeah, it's just nice. You meet a lot of players, meet their families, and very lucky. But I do it for the fans. The fans need honest integrity, and they need some honest coverage, and I feel as though I can provide it.
Gotcha. And I know we're trying to bounce back from the COVID-19 pandemic. How did you and your coworkers kind of keep content rolling throughout the pandemic with no hockey being played?
Well, my goal, and we stuck with it, was to do one article per day, and that was to take the people's minds off of reality, what was going on in the world. Everybody in the beginning, we didn't know much about COVID, and to this day, I mean, there's still various rhymes or reasons to the COVID-19 pandemic. It is true. It is a virus, and it is a bad virus, and so but in any sense, I wanted to take reality away from people. So our mission was to do one article per day, and we stuck with that through the entire pandemic. Now we're writing, with hockey being in session, now we're writing 3 to 5 per day. When there was no hockey, absolute no hockey, we were still doing an article per day, sometimes even twice per day, depending on. We have 37 writers and 6 photographers for this site now. So we are up to 9 million views for the year, and our mission was to provide for the fans. They were there for us, so we're there for them.
Gotcha. And what kind of creative ideas did you guys have to come up with for content going through the COVID-19 pandemic?
So there were some really good articles. Sometimes I took pictures from our photographers and made a from the lens piece. Doing some different videos, player profile videos. They're really good. Player profile articles are always good because it keeps content fresh, but it keeps the fans' minds fresh on who is in the Flyer system. There's tons to write about the draft, what was going on in the NHL at that time anyway, because it wasn't like the NHL just they shut their doors, but they didn't shut down, like content. So we're getting various interviews with players and stuff and doing player profile interviews. And then the draft came around. So you started to do, draft articles, and that's what it gave us time to focus on some areas that we wouldn't be able to focus on if the Flyer season was going on. So you just got to open your mind and open your mindset up, and just provide content, do some dancing videos or something, Flyers. Yeah, I had to whip out my dancing skills. Even that, happened. But yeah, you just want to try to provide for the fans. To be honest with you, we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for them.
Gotcha. And kind of moving into the website itself. How long have you guys been in service, I guess is the right term to use?
So we've been in service now 2 years and 2 months, which is kind of neat. We went over the 2 year mark this past October. So that was kind of no, not October, but September. I forgot because the Flyer season starts in October. So yeah, 2 years and 2 months. And you know what? We're just growing and growing and growing. And we wouldn't be here if it weren't for the passionate, dedicated Flyers fans, and not even them. We got people throughout the world following us, but there are people from other teams following us. Like I talked to a few people from the Boston Bruins who are fans of the Bruins. One of them is Craig Eagles. Another one, his name is Justin, and there's another Justin Miner who follows me, and he's a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. There's a Jenny Wren who's a Washington Capitals fan. So it's kind of neat. You get all different fans following and stuff. If you
Gotcha.
provide good content and you're nice, people will come to you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a really good point. And speaking of good content, how do you guys really manage your social media aspect of the website and kind of attract people to the website via social media?
So I handle. I'm actually pretty busy. I handle the Twitter account, and I handle the Facebook. Where my partners come in, your Reef handles the YouTube aspect, so he does a lot of videos and does a lot of podcasting and stuff that get posted, via YouTube. And then we have a person that's just dedicated towards Instagram because I can't do like you said, all the social media realms. We want to hit on them all, so I take care of the Facebook page and I take care of our Twitter handle as well as my personal handle.
Mhm.
And got to keep that coming too, because if you want people to follow your site, so you want to try to get big on your own personal handle too.
Gotcha. And speaking of time management, I see the car seats in the background. How do you manage? How do you kind of manage your personal life with the website?
You pull your hair out the first year. That's exactly what you did. And through the first year, that was the most trying year. I was trying to develop time for my wife, trying to develop time for my kids. I didn't want to neglect my kids. I didn't want to neglect my wife either. And what I mean by neglect is not actually physically neglecting them or mentally. What I mean is taking time away from them. Especially the young kids, because they need time. And if you want to raise them properly, they're going to take work and they're going to take time.
Mhm.
And so honestly, I just did it for a few hours per day. You know when to do it. Like nap time is a good time to write, or be on the Twitter handle. Nap times are good. Night times are good, depending if your wife has something going on. It makes it that much easier. But yeah, you start to develop some time management over time, and you just don't want to take time from your family. Never take time away from your family.
Gotcha. What would you say is the ultimate goal for Flyers Nitty Gritty? Like, where do you want it to be? Where do you want it to be in the next 5 years?
I want us to be, sort of on the verge of hockey buzz. I mean, you look at hockey buzz and how successful they are. Maybe not with all the teams, but I want people to come. When they think of Flyers coverage, I want people to say, "Okay, Flyers Nitty Gritty. There it is. Bang." I'm going to go get all my content from them. And some people do that today, but I think we could clean up some areas like draft. I'm going to get really good at the draft aspect is a feature I'm going to do this season. I'm really going to focus on that, hone in on that. And I think if you want to prospects, I want us to be known for prospects. I want us to be known for, again, the draft. Hey, I want to see what's going on in the draft. Let me go to Flyers Nitty Gritty. So I those are some things I want to clean up.
Gotcha. And kind of now moving into like the cultural aspect of the organization. I know you guys run fully online, correct?
Mhm.
Yep. You don't really don't have a central office. So kind of moving into that, you said you had 37 writers and 6 photographers. Can you kind of explain kind of the diversity between all of them and within the organization?
So it's a various. We have we have about eight. Excuse me, 8 women writing for us, and that is great because women are smart and they know the sport of hockey. And there's some, women writers that we have in our group that are more talented than me, and that even know the game more than me. So that's kind of neat. So we got that, and then there's 29 males, writing for us. The various mixes, and I just I want everybody to love us. You know what I mean? So if anybody is willing to write, I don't care who it is or who you are. after looking and getting to know that particular person, it doesn't matter who you are or what you are, you have an
Mhm.
option to, we are an equal opportunity employer.
Gotcha. And kind of just explaining too, like the age ranges as well with your writers too. Like what are the age ranges for the website?
Our youngest is 18, and that's Chris Mara. And I tell you, he is very smart, and he is definitely going to have a future in this business for sure. You can just tell the drive that he has, and it goes all the way up to 61 years old.
Gotcha. So kind of a lot of or not centuries. What's the word I'm looking for?
Decades.
Decades. Thank you. A lot of decades within the organization.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
what we want. You want it. You want that diversity, like you said. You want that. You want that age, that people could relate to, not just the younger generations,
mhm,
because the older generations has been through a lot, and they know a lot.
hang on. So as you stated, you really accept everybody of all ages and stuff like that. And basically you just want people that have a passion for hockey to come right. And with that, how would somebody who wants to become a writer or a photographer for a company kind of get involved with Flyers Nitty Gritty?
They can reach out to me on Twitter, or my personal on my personal handle, or they could email us at flyersnittygritty@gmail.com. But if people want some tips, just focus on yourself. Focus on you need experience. That's the thing that you're trying to get to, is experience. The more experience you have, the better it is for you. And then you start to develop, contacts and relationships with people, and networking is a big thing. You want to network and get out and go to practices. You want to get your name known, but to move yourself not only with Flyers Nitty Gritty, but to areas to where you want to become with your goals and stuff. Right, the more you write, the more people know you. And I can't tell you enough. And you gain a lot of experience with that. And you get constructive criticism, like, okay, well, hey, you could do this better, from fans anyway. They'll help you. They will guide you and try to make you a better person, a better writer. Not a better person, but a better writer anyway. But experience is a big key. And that's what you're shooting for. And that's what we're trying to give experience, like, to see if you could handle this business. So if you come with me to practice, or you come with me to a game, you could, I could take you sort of under my wing and show you around and say, hey, yeah, I can do this. I am confident. Confidence is a big thing. If you're confident and you're self-assured, I'm telling you, you get far in this business. But if you're unconfident and you're unsure, you won't get very far, because it's a tough business mentally.
Gotcha. Yeah, with so many writers and stuff like that out there looking to kind of get their quote unquote foot in the doorway. You kind of really it's all based on your confidence and stuff like that. And that's a really good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Uh, Kind of wrapping up here. I know that you said you've been doing this for 7 years, but I know this isn't what you did necessarily before that. And kind of how what I'm asking is kind of what sort of advice would you give someone that's kind of like my age or younger that you didn't do necessarily before that you're doing now, if that makes sense? Oh, did I lose you? Hello? Oh, you muted yourself. Hang on, I'll pause. Okay, so to kind of wrap up this interview, I know that before I know you've been saying you've been doing this for 7 years, and I know that uh, in our previous talks before that that when you were in college you focused on a different area of study before getting into this. Kind of what is one piece of advice that you could give someone that's my age or younger that you didn't quite necessarily do before that you kind of regret?
So when you're getting involved into this business, I do never take away from your time and family and your friends. That is one thing. Time management is key. Never, ever, ever take time away from them. And unfortunately, that has happened to me at times. And I wish I could go back in the time and go back and spend time with my family, my friends, and stuff. And those the most important factors in your life should not be neglected because you're trying to get somewhere. And it's natural for it to happen, but try to prevent it from happening. You will get to where you want to get to if you have the drive to do it. Taking away like 20 minutes to tweet or 20 minutes to write an article or something of that nature, or a deadline maybe that you want to do, like, hey, an acquisition just happened, or Morgan Frost, is recalled, because he should be recalled today.
Mhm.
But don't take time away from your family and friends. That's the biggest thing I could tell you. It will come back to bite you in the end. Time management. You will develop time management. It may happen naturally in the beginning. Hey, hold on 1 second, or something of that nature. But just try to prevent that as much as possible. You will get to where you're going if you have the drive to do it.
Mhm. And then also, I know in our previous talks as well that that you actually had a completely different career path before doing, well, you're still doing that career path now, but before doing the website. So if someone finds their passion not like later in life, but like later, what kind of made you do I know you work as a correctional officer, right?
Mhm.
Correctional officer for the
Yep.
state of Delaware.
Correct.
Yep.
Yep. Mhm.
So what gear changed you to kind of do the website while doing being a correctional officer?
I wanted to take away to something that I loved. And it's not that I don't love work, but I wanted something to occupy my time. And I love the Flyers hockey. I wanted to get honest coverage because I saw a lot of negativity and stuff, being presented, 7 years ago and stuff. And I wanted to try to be more positive. If I could be more positive and try to get people to smile at least once a day, I've done my job. If that's aside from like the writing aspect and stuff. And I think it brings people together. I'm an outgoing person. I like our coverage. I like the honesty, integrity. That was one big thing I wanted to do. Wanted to provide honest integrity coverage, no lies, no nothing. I want people to come and, yes, this is it. Yes, he said it. This is it. I want to be trustworthy. And there was some mistrust, and I'm within, and I didn't like it. So I, tried to, develop our own. But honest integrity will get you places. It will get you far in this business if you remain honest and true to yourself.
Gotcha.
Don't
Well,
try to be somebody you're.
gotcha. Well, Jamie, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview again. I appreciate this a lot. Do you have any final words that you want to say before we wrap things up?
Yeah, Sam, you're doing a great job. Keep your head up, and you're going to get far in this business. I see how driven you are, and I see how true to yourself as I've gotten to know you. And I think that you have a future in this business. How far? Who knows? That's remain to be seen. You just scratching the surface, so to speak, but you will get there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, Jamie, thank you again so much for taking the time and for doing this. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam. Take care.